Hello, everybody. Welcome to Transcending Together. My name is Alec John Bell, the Christian Witch, and I am here today to talk to you about something that I have been doing. But before I get into that, I just want to say that I just want to preface this video with the fact that this is take 4 of this video. I have recorded this video 3 previous times, and all 3 previous times have failed. So I'm praying to God, please God, let this be the last time that I have to record this video. And I don't mean to come across as if I'm annoyed in this video. I tried to just, let it go. And, I'm here, I'm in front of the camera, I'm recording this video for you all, and I'm excited to be talking about this topic. And even though I have recorded this video 3 previous times, I'm just excited to finally be doing this and hopefully get this video up for you all. So today I wanted to tell you that I have been reading the Bible. And I wanted to tell you that I started reading the Bible this year. I think somewhere at the beginning of this year, but I'm not 100% positive. I started with the book of Psalms, which is in the Old Testament, and I don't even know exactly what it was that made me want to start reading the Bible, but I felt really compelled to. So I ordered an alabaster Bible, and if you don't know what those Bibles are, I should have grabbed one so I could show it to you. But basically, the alabaster Bibles are these really beautiful Bibles, and it's like each individual book of the Bible, and they're like magazines kind of. They're beautiful. They're like $30 for each book. And so I bought the Psalms alabaster Bible. There's actually an unboxing, I think, on my YouTube channel if you go back and look at my previous videos. But so I decided to read Psalms, and I read a majority of Psalms. So that's why I say I read Psalms, because I read most of it. Psalms is one of those books that I don't think that you necessarily read like beginning to end, because it's just, I'll be 100% honest, it's a little bit boring. Also, pardon the glare in my glasses. Don't know what's going on with that, but we'll just keep going. So I apologize for the glare in my glasses. Oh, and here's my cat. This is my cat Onyx. Anyway, so I read Psalms, and then it occurred to me. So when I started reading the Bible at the beginning of this year, I was just a regular Christian. I was not a Christian witch. I was a progressive Christian who was into crystals and meditation and things like that. And I decided, you know what? If I'm a Christian, shouldn't I read the Bible? Or at the very least, shouldn't I read the 4 Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John? So I bought the alabaster Bibles for Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and I read them. And I was amazed at some of the things that I read. There were things that Jesus said that I never knew he said. There were things that he did that I never knew he did. And I was just, I read the Gospels, and I was so stunned. I was like, oh my goodness, like what is happening right now? And it just was amazing to me. I couldn't figure out why I was so shocked and why I had never heard some of the things that Jesus said. So I actually made a video about this, but one of the things that Jesus said was that he had kind of an intolerance for religious leaders. He didn't like religious leaders, and he was very much against them. And I have a strong opinion that if Jesus was here today, he would be very much against the religious leaders that are still leading us today. So I was just shocked. And there's a verse in the Bible, and I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's in one of the Gospels where Jesus talks about how people will have eyes but can't see, and will have ears but won't be able to listen. And I finally felt like I was able to hear and listen and see what Jesus had said, and I was so surprised. It just shocked me. I was amazed. So then I went from the Gospels and decided to keep going. So I bought more Alabaster Bibles. I bought the Alabaster Bibles, the book of Acts and the book of Romans, and read those. And again, like more shocking things. And I should also point out that later on, I started reading these little Bible journals. This is the book of James, and these are little journals. So like they have the reading on one side, and then you can write your notes on the other side. So I started reading these. These were actually a gift that I had gotten a couple of years ago from my mother and my grandmother, and I never read these. Never used them. I wanted them. I actually asked my mother for this gift, and I never used them. So, because I planned on reading the Bible and I never did. So, there are two things I want to talk about in this video. The first thing is, what do I think about the Bible? Well, I think the Bible is really interesting. I think it's an interesting collection of books. But I do have to say something. I have to add my 2 cents here. And if you disagree with what I'm about to say, then you can totally let me know down in the comments. We can have an open dialogue. The whole point of this channel, the whole point of me creating these videos is so that we can have open discussions about these sort of topics. But when I read the Bible, I don't necessarily see the 100% infallible Word of God. And one of the examples that I use for the reasoning behind that is the homosexuality example. So the word homosexual was never even included in the Bible until 1964. And there was never any word in the Bible that even meant homosexual. There was a word, which it's a Greek word, so I'm not even going to try and pronounce it. But there was a Greek word that was a compound word that I believe Paul used. That was a compound word of boy and bed. And they took this word and made it say homosexuality or homosexual in the 1964 versions. If you want more information on this, read the book Unclobber by Colby Martin and the book God in the Gate Christian by Matthew Vines. Those are both really great examples of, those hold very great information about the homosexual issue with the Bible. And so if a word that once previously meant pedophile can be translated into meaning homosexual, then that proves to me that the Bible is not 100% infallible. That proves to me that man, us as humans, can change the Word of God, and we can change it. And if we can change it, that makes it fallible. That means that it's not perfect. And I think that's a really important point to make. And like I said, if you disagree with me, totally let me know down in the comments. And I would love to have a conversation about this. And if you believe that the Bible is infallible, then tell me how the Bible's infallible. But do not use the verses from the Bible to prove that the Bible is infallible, because you can't do that. It's like when you're trying to define a word and you use the word in the definition. You can't do that. You have to use outside sources. You have to use outside words. So I would love to hear what people think about that. The second thing that I want to talk about is Paul. And I want to talk about what things I think are still relevant in today's society. So Paul wrote a lot of the books of the New Testament, and I think that you know, it's, sorry, Henry, come here. Henry, let's go. Sorry, my dog just, so one thing that I think is important to recognize is that Paul wrote a lot of the New Testament books, and he had a lot to say. And there were a lot of things that I did not agree with that he said. For example, he talked about women being quiet in church and like being submissive. He talked about women wearing head coverings, which we don't make women wear head coverings anymore. So that's an example of something that we don't make women still do. So if the Bible is the Word of God, the 100% infallible Word of God, why are we not still making women wear head coverings? Because some of the things that are in the Bible do not need to follow us into today's society. And there were a lot of things that Paul said that I didn't agree with, like especially in the book of Romans. I remember I was reading it and I was like, oh my gosh, what are some of these things that Paul is saying? So if you have any information about Paul that you want me to know, anything that you think would be relevant for me to know, again, this is just a channel for me to talk about what I'm feeling about the things that I'm learning. And I'm not perfect, and I don't pretend to be perfect, and I don't pretend like what I'm saying is like 100% accurate, but I'm just voicing my opinion. And if people disagree, then totally let me know. But, you know, overall, I've really been enjoying my experience reading the Bible. It's been, you know, I think that it's a beautiful collection of stories and history, and, you know, Jesus' story is in here, and there's just so much in this big book, and some of it we can take with us, and I think some of it we can leave behind. I don't think we need to take everything from the Bible with us into 2022, which is right around the corner. I think that some things we can leave behind. And that's just my opinion. But there are a lot of things that we can take with us. Like Jesus telling us to love each other, to love your enemies. You know, things like that. Like those are the things that it's important to take with us as we progress as a society. And I think that's really important. So we have come to the end of this video. So what do I think about the Bible? I think it's great. I really do. I think there's a lot of things I disagree with that were written at the time, but I understand the historical context of why these things were written at the time they were written. So it makes sense to me. But there's a lot of it that I love, and I've enjoyed reading it. And it's hard to believe that in about a week or two, you know, as I continue to read through the rest of these little Bible journals, in about a week or two, I'll be able to say I've read the entire New Testament. That's so crazy to me, because there was a point in my life where I never thought that I would even be able to read one whole book of the Bible, let alone all 27 books of the New Testament. And you know, whether I get to the Old Testament or not, we'll see. And if I do, I will chronicle my journey as I get there. So thank you all for watching this video. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up and let me know what you think down in the comments. And if you let me know what you think, please be polite. That's all I ask. I love open dialogue. I love open discussions, but I will not respond to people that harass me or are unkind. So if you want to be part of this channel and be part of these discussions, definitely subscribe, and I will see you all again real soon. Bye.